One, people should be investing in the beginning and just in themselves. Every chance you get to go to something that could possibly help you, if it has a 1% chance of even adding to the value you have spend the money. Don't sit on money. Money's useless. So if you have $5,000 left in your account, I would spend the whole $5,000 on yourself. When you spend money on yourself, you're gonna start getting better at whatever you're doing. If you just keep doing it, if you keep spending it, just because you spent it once and it didn't work, go do it again. And then again, and then again. That has been one thing in my life. Like if you ask me, hey, what's one thing? I always invest in me first. Not the business.
Not the business.
Not the real estate, me. My condition, how am I doing? Am I around the right people? Am I listening? Like, I don't care what it is, dinner, lunch, charities. I just go to anything where I think there's other people doing well. Like, I just want to hear somebody say something that just inspires me.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Grant Cardone, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, dream big.
The 10X rule is based on, look, the goals people are setting are too small. You know, I want to get a good job. I want to get married. I want to be happy. The goals are wrong. And I hate to tell somebody their goals are wrong, but I don't know that your goals are wrong. You know, I know that my goals have always been too small. Everything I have done in my life has not been, I have underestimated what I could do. Every time I've gotten to where I was like, dang, dude, that wasn't even that hard. Like, it wasn't even that difficult. And it got easier as I got rid of the people that said I couldn't do it. Mostly, it wasn't really people saying I couldn't do it. It was mostly people saying, dude, but why do you need to? They were questioning why I need to, right? So if your kid decides, man, he don't want to be an astronaut. He's like, I don't want to be an astronaut, dude. I want to be the guy that creates the company that sends millions of people to another planet. See, he's like, why would I want to be the pilot, dude? He's just another worker. I want to be the Elon Musk that figured it out, right? So, and you'll be like, man, just be happy to be an astronaut, right? But he's got a bigger dream, and we should all. That's the first thing I would tell people. Look, whatever you think your dream is, one, you got to add money. You got to. People are having goals and dreams without money. You know, there's all these quotes on the internet. A goal without a date is merely a wish that will never happen. Whatever. Dude, a goal without money attached to it, okay, is something that will never be accomplished because there is no goal on this planet that doesn't require money, including happy. To be happy, you need money. And your audience can say, I'd love to see their comments. Like, you cannot be happy without money. The only way you can be happy and broke is to be insane.
Yeah.
Because only an insane person would say, yeah, dude, we're all good. I don't know where food's coming from tonight, but I'm happy. That means, well, I don't know how you're paying for your drugs. Because you can't be happy knowing I can't pay for the next meal. It's just, it's mentally impossible.
Rule number 3, forget about the past.
I used to listen to guys that were millionaires. Mm-hmm. And they were like, when I look back now, I'm like, oh, they were all like, don't get bigger. Bigger's not better. Fly under the radar. You know, what matters is how much you make, how much you net, how much you keep, save your money, everything. All those guys that are worth 2 and 3 and 4 million, even some guys that are worth 5 and 10, dude, they're all about contraction.
That's right.
They're trying to save, conserve what they have. Because when you start talking to these other dudes, I'm not talking about myself now. When I get around guys that are worth 600 million, 800, 4 billion, they never talk about that. Dude, they think my money's chump money. They're like, dude, that's not money right there. Dude, look, quit looking at your notes. Okay, what do you want to do here?
It's in my notes.
No, but it's in you. Okay. What do you want? What does Tommy need to do now? Tommy's making 400 grand, worried about somebody that's no good. Okay. Where does Tommy need to go? Screw the mechanics.
Okay.
Where you been? Screw where you been.
Okay.
Dude, where are you in the right vehicle? You have to change. Okay. Where you been means nothing. None of this. The chick that you hired in New Orleans, what you did last year, dude, none of it matters.
Well,
Where are you going to go?
No,
No, you just want to skip now, dude. You just want to drop the past. It doesn't matter, okay? So my goal for you, I don't know if it's your goal, but I'm hearing you say some of this, is let's just go to number one in your market. It's easy to do.
Rule number 4, don't take shortcuts.
Sketchy people can't see everything. You know, I've learned this in my own life and with other people. Like, people that take shortcuts can't see very well. And like you can see everything I'm doing. You see the e-commerce, you see the traditional, you see the sales calls that we make, you see what I'm doing on social, you see the real estate plays, you see everything I'm doing. So another person could study everything that I'm doing and not see everything I'm doing because they're sketchy.
And they're like stuck right here.
They're criminals. They're taking shortcuts and they're looking for shortcuts and all they see is shortcuts. They can't see everything. So the more honest a person is, the more they can see. And the less honest a person is, the less they can see. It's why a thief, robs a house and steals less than he could have made just servicing the same exact house.
Right.
The guy would have given more money to like take care of him if he could see. Instead, he saw a watch and took the watch.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5, love the things you hate.
I say this all the time. Like, if you learn to love the thing you hate, you might find a big gift in it. And for me, I didn't like sales. I hated it. I tried selling when I was 17 years old, lost the job. 18, I tried again part-time during the summer, lost the job. 19 years old, lost the job. I had 5 experiences in sales and hated every one of them. All different industries. I just kept moving industries thinking, okay, it'll be different. This will be easy to sell. I hated sales. I hated talking to people. I particularly hated the beginning, the rapport building. You know, I'm not good at breaking ice. Like Ron Secco, he can talk to anybody. I can't do that. I can't go into a room. I could speak to 35,000 people, but I can't go into a room and start warming it up. It's just, I'm uncomfortable. So the point I'm trying to make is when I was 25, the only job I could get was a sales job. And I said, hey, you got to decide that you're going to get good at this, even if you hate it. Yeah. Because you can't lose another job. It would have been my 6th firing. And I'm like, I cannot lose another job. I did, by the way, get fired from that place. But they never got rid of me because I kept selling stuff. Yeah. So every time they'd fire me, I'd go back and sell something. They'd be like, okay, you can stay another day until the next time you mess up something. So, you know, I went from hating sales to committing to it to becoming now known as like one of the greatest living salespeople on the planet. Yeah. So in the things you hate, like where does the hate come from? Like the things that you hate. The things that just grind you out, like just bug you, there's probably, if you just stay with it and look, just move to the side a little bit and look behind it, there might be some great gifts.
Rule number 6, think like an entrepreneur.
The problem was I do what a lot of entrepreneurs do. The mistake a lot of entrepreneurs make is, number 1, they never look up the definition entrepreneur. An entrepreneur means someone who organizes a business or businesses and invests money, takes greater than normal risk with money in order to expand or organize those businesses. I wasn't spending money on my business. Like all I was doing was knocking on doors. It was just pure effort. I wasn't spending money. Like I wouldn't spend real money until I was 50 years old, about 10 years ago, when a guy said, bro, you're not a business. And I said, what? And I could feel this. Yeah, I was a hustler. I was a grinder, but I wasn't a business. And I could feel it, you know. I was a consultant. I was making some money, like in my 30s and 40s. I made I made a lot of money. What other people would call a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I was not a business. You know what I mean? I was just.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I was just hustling. Just because you're hustling. Everything was a transaction.
Yeah.
Everything was a transaction to get money, pay the taxes, have a little bit of money left over. Everything was a transaction.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, well, you're not a business. And I was like, I know, man, I know. Don't tell anybody. I know that, okay? Like, I knew it. And because to me, a business is I can walk away from it, it'll still operate. I was a guy. I was no different than when I was 30, just pounding doors. And which was good. And I think a lot of people you don't need to skip that spot either. Because once I put the two together, okay, I can pound the door. I can learn e-commerce. I can be a one product sale. I can sell to companies. Like today, we'll sell a product to a company for $80,000 on a 3 to 5 year contract, $80,000 a year. Yeah, wow. And I'll switch immediately and sell an $8 product online, or I'll give something away for free, to speaking to 4,000 people today in hopes that I can meet, maybe 40 of them that I can have a partnership and a collaboration with in the future.
Rule number 7, don't waste time.
To have life balance, you got to have money.
Yeah.
This is the taboo thing to say. It's never going to be on TV. Nobody likes. You got to have money. Nobody ever says this.
Yeah.
Oh, I do this. I do that. I have blah. Dude, you got to have money. You can't. What do I mean by that? Like, okay, well, create the life you want.
Yeah.
Quit saving money. Quit buying watches and H belts. I don't have an Hermes belt. I didn't even know how to pronounce Hermes. I'm like, well, who would spend $700-800 on a belt? I could buy $3,000 worth of real estate with a $700 belt, right? And who am I trying to impress anyway? What I need a trainer to come to me. So you buy your Hermes belt, I'm gonna buy a trainer to come to me. I don't want to go to him. Okay, time is money. It's not money is time. It's time is money. So why am I going to get in a car and drive to the trainer? Here, I'll give you another $200. You come to me. Okay, you come to me. I walk down there. I do my workout. Boom, I'm done. Well, he's still driving 40 minutes, and I'm already taking a shower and doing a business deal. So you got to figure out the things in your life. When I went from, okay, I'm never going to work for below my pay grade anymore. This was a big shift for me. I like gardening. I like landscape stuff, right? When I got rid of a yard, I was like, that probably made me $10 million. I loved it. I spent too much time doing it. It was costing me money. It was below my pay grade. You see what I'm saying? What am I doing? What am I doing? Because it's therapeutic. Well, good, man. Not 2 hours of it. Therapeutics costing you millions of dollars because you're out there playing with stuff. That made me feel good and everything, but there's got to be a faster, better way to do that, to get that sensation.
Rule number 8, stop compromising your future.
It's the question everybody asks. Yeah. How do you do it all, dude? Yeah. What you do, if you want to get it, if you want to do it all, quit compromising on what it takes to do it all. And the thing that we confront at my house is money. And this is the thing that most people are not confronting. They're not confronting money. What they're doing is they do budgets. We have enough money to do this. I don't do a budget. What I do is, what do I want? How much money does it take? Yeah. And then I go create the money.
Yeah.
This is what we did thousands of years ago when you hunted. If you were hungry, you're like, I'm hungry. What do we want to eat? Well, whatever. What can we eat? What can we kill? What can we go? And my job back then was to go out and not come home, dude, until I didn't have anybody to blame. You could blame Brexit. You can blame everybody you want to blame. Yeah. But if your kids need to eat, right? So back then it was get food. Now it's people are I'm just going to take whatever they give me, and I'm going to make sense of it. As opposed to what life do I want? I need a nanny, okay? I don't want my kids to go to school. I went to school. I went there, I sat with the other little numbnut loser kids that I was. I was there to distract every child in the room, okay? I had no interest in the class. My job was to make sure he didn't learn anything, and that you and I had fun, and that the teacher went home and had the worst day of her life. I hated school. So I hated every second of it. I don't want to do that to my kids. So what do I need? Oh, I need a nanny. What's a nanny cost? $80,000 a year. Oh, then I got to bring her around with me and feed her. And then I got to put her in a hotel room, so I need another room. So you guys start doing the math on all this. Okay, I don't want to. I got my nanny. I got two kids with us. We want to travel around the world. What's that going to cost? What's it cost to be gone 30 days and be in nice places that are secure, service, a chef? Like, no, none of our parents got us ready for that kind of budget.
Yeah. So it's
what they said was get a good job. That job will pay £85,000
and make do with what.
And make do with the $85,000. It's the wrong way to do the math, dude. What kind of life do you want? Not what can you make sense of? What kind of life would allow you to be able to do work and life?
Yeah.
Oh wow, man! You know what? If I'm gonna travel, I need a plane, dude. Then you got a new calculation to do. Then I need pilots. Then I need a place to keep the plane. Then I need insurance. And all of a sudden the whole thing gets really complicated and you're like, damn, I need some money. Now you start picking what would produce enough money. You start thinking creatively. Once you commit, you start thinking creatively. Again, look, I started with nothing. For me to be doing what I'm doing today is because I'm committed to figuring out. I'm as committed to this as the drug addict is committed to the heroin. And he has no money. But he has no money. His reputation sucks. He owes every drug dealer in town, and he'll still get his fix. He'll still figure out how to get his deal.
Rule number 9, focus on making money.
This is insanity that you're being told don't monetize your business. If you have a good business, have a good service, have a good product, sell it. But so many guys they're trying these little kid gimmicks. It's fine if my kids flip shoes on eBay. If you're an adult, man, you got to get beyond flipping sneakers on eBay. You need to build a business. Otherwise, don't call yourself an entrepreneur, because that's not what an entrepreneur is. An entrepreneur is not flipping shit on eBay. That's not a business. That's you trying to make $2 on a toy that you bought at a garage sale. It's a different gig. Now, if you can figure out how to scale that, but it sounds to me like you're benefiting eBay more than you're benefiting yourself. eBay is the pimp, and you're basically the prostitute in that machinery, which is no problem with that, right? But you're servicing the machine rather than building your own machine. I want to build a machine. I want to build a machine that lives longer than I do, so that if I get a good partnership with somebody and we cut a deal and they're 90% of the profits in future and I'm 10%, and my kids or my charity get to keep that 10 after I'm dead, man, I'm good to go.
So what's next? Like, got the jet, like what's next, man?
Man, I don't know.
What's 10x for you now?
10x is, how do I do $1 billion a year in income? And then how do I do $10 billion in real estate? How do I have a $10 billion real estate portfolio? Last month we paid $1.4 million out in distribution. Last month we paid $1.4 million in US dollars out to our investors in the real estate. How do I start competing with these banks? So they're like, you know what? We really don't like all this noise you're making. You're a noisy guy, and we're kind of getting tired of it now. When you get noisy enough, they either buy you and suppress you. That's what Bill Gates would do with Apple years ago. The tablet, the original iPhone was a little called, what was the name of that little beast? Anyway, it had a little pen you wrote on it. They buried that project for years. I'll think of it in a second. I'll think of it when the interview's over. Maybe you guys know what it is, okay? Anyway, it's probably 20 years ago. I actually had a company built around this thing, and Bill Gates came in, gave Apple, Steve Jobs a loan, and said, look, I'll lend you this money. You got to bury that product. And they did. So that's what you can do. Or they consume you. They buy you and say, hey, we want you to be part of our... So maybe that's what happens, Nathan. I don't know. Get the audio guy to get a good sticker for the mic.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is be spiritual.
Spirituality is the number one most important thing to me in my life. Like, before my wife and my kids is my understanding of God.
Yeah.
And my dreams come from that connection and that understanding. And my dreams and my goals are not really financial. It's potential. So when I talk about, people ask me, probably the most painful question I get is, when is enough enough? And I'm like, man, you guys ought to check in with God on that.
Yeah.
Right? Because my potential is what I'm going after. It's not some number. I got a guy asking me about my net worth. I'm like, dude, it's a stupid question. It's an ego. It's an ego thing, right? What I'm interested in is my potential, possibility, discovery, and for me, that potential is the thing that strings me and God. And that potential is my dreams. It's like, what could I do? What's possible? And the other thing is about the blessing. You hear people, I was in Atlanta, I'm like, man, I'm blessed. And everybody's like, oh yeah, praise the Lord. I'm like, yeah, everybody's blessed. Everybody's blessed. I've never met somebody that's not blessed. Most people are not proving it though. They're blessed and not validating God every day.
Wow.
So I have a very, very powerful, very strong, and very clear understanding of my relationship with God, and it is first and foremost with me. Other people won't understand it, right? But I every day, every deal, undoing a deal, like I've undone deals. Hey guys, this deal is no longer good for me, and that was me at my highest ethical. What do you mean? You got a deal? We got a deal. You signed a contract. That's right. And now we're going to undo this deal. And I'm going to undo it. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to figure it out. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Hey, this deal's not good for me. And if it's not good for me, it's not good for my family. It's not good for my future. It's not good for my ability to give to charities. It's not good for you either. So rather than me just walking away, why don't we just rework the deal so that we're both happy and everybody wins? Very difficult thing to do.
But you allow that to be your dominant driver.
Because another person might be bound by that agreement. They're like, no, we have a deal. I have to do what I said I'm going to do, because they're bound by some rule that they made some agreement. Hey, if that agreement's no longer good for you, no God would want you to continue. What you'd want to do is communicate, which is harder to do.
Yeah.
So the ability for my wife and I to communicate about anything, even if it's tough and it's believing in God is more than just believing in God. It takes courage to go out every day and validate it.
Because if you actually believe, you have to do.
And you ought to do well too. And if you have to me in my mind, like, if I have a good, really strong, good working relationship with God, I would be successful at everything. Physically, in my marriage, in business, with my customers, online. I would have good reviews, not bad reviews.
Yeah.
Like, you ought to have the whole package. I don't think God had a partial package. I think it was probably the whole deal. And the other thing is the work thing, like I see a lot of people that believe in God that don't work. They're like, oh yeah, but they're taking 2 and 3 days off. God don't even take that much time off. He takes 1 day off. Yeah. And look what he did before he took the day off. If I sit with $100 in my pocket, folks, there is no economy. If you want to be economic, you let money flow. It has to move. You got people in your company, managers and executives that are saving money. They save their money. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? We're saving money. How can you grow a department if you go home and all you do is save shit? You open up somebody's freezer and they got ice cream that's 3 months old. It's got this much left. You got Diet Coke that's 4 days old. It's got that much left in it, okay? You got Ziploc containers. You have whole cabinets of Ziploc containers and little plastic things where in case you had some leftover corn or peas or potatoes, you're like, don't throw it away. Save that. Save that much pork chop. Maybe I'll hit it tomorrow.
See, like this, somebody put this back in here. That's probably Elena doing that. There's no reason to put this back here. It reminds me of my mama. Reminds me of when I grew up. Save everything. It's a terrible product anyway. Why you want to save it? Look at this. She put 2 apples in here. Don't put them back in the refrigerator, man. Eat them, or toss them. You're not going to go broke or get rich saving leftovers.
What are you guys doing, man? You got shit in your closet that you ain't ever gonna wear. It don't fit you. It ain't fit you in years, right? How many of you got stuff at your house you could get rid of? You're trying to save stuff. Dude, how can you have new stuff come in when you're holding on to stuff that you don't even use? Right? So you have to use this. It only becomes valuable when it's used. Now the question is, what are you going to use it on? And the other question is, why don't you use it? Why are you so compelled to hold on to it? What do y'all think that is? You don't know how to get more. Number one reason, your mother did not know how to get a new shirt. That's why she put so much time and energy in cleaning the shirt you got a stain on. Okay? You broke a toy, your parents got upset with you. Can't believe you did that. What, did what, man? Dude, toys are to be broken. That's what a good toy is for, right? Right? I lost a quarter when I was 8 years old, and I would have thought my house was going to get torn apart because my dad became so upset about the quarter. You're playing with money. Never play with money. What are you doing playing with money? And that lesson pounded on me so hard, it kept me from making real money for 20 years.
You mentioned that whilst writing 10X Rule, something changed for you.
Yeah.
What was that? Was that sort of this
look, the 10X rule
to going all in, or?
No, the 10X rule was just the awareness of I had been dependent upon one vertical.
Right.
And I'm sitting there looking, okay, I worked my ass off. I was good at my craft. I saved my money. What did I do wrong here, dude? 51 years old. I should be like so rich right now. I should be like not
Where's
even work, huh?
Where's my jet, Rich?
I wasn't even thinking about a jet then.
Right.
I wasn't even thinking about a jet. I should just be like, I was still having to do business with people I didn't like. I'm like, why am I still kissing asses? And I don't mind kissing asses. Like, I don't mind, I'll do whatever it takes, but I'm like, why am I still flying 3 million miles every 3 years? Like I was banging miles out. I wasn't 150,000 miles a year.
Wow.
You know, away from my family. Like my life was miserable. I'm like, what? It's fine that you do that for 20 years. It's not fine if you do it forever. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, I wasn't scaling. Now, I didn't know that until the economy basically served up the lesson.
Right.
All right, we're going to take your 3 businesses, and we're going to show you that you really only have like maybe a half of one business. Took the first business and just cut it in half. Took the second business, took it down to like 90%, like just killed this partner I had. And the third business was real estate, and it was frozen. It was literally like they put it in a freezer and said, you're not going to lose any of this, but it's worth nothing to you today.
Yeah.
And I was on life support. And I'm like, I'll never do this again. I will never be dependent upon one vertical, one partner, or a handful of real estate. Never do business with somebody you don't feel good about. Deal's never going to be good.
It's not worth it.
Can't get a good deal from a bad guy. It's impossible. If I don't feel good, there's no way I will not give a person a penny.
Wow.
I don't care how good the deal is. Deal will never be good if the guy's bad.
Doesn't matter how bad you want it, what they have.
Do not do it.
Yeah.
So I have a list of like 6 things.
Yeah.
And if one of those boxes checks off, I know I shouldn't do this deal.
Wow.
More than one, for sure I won't do it. A theme that runs in my life is just disappointment throughout the whole thing. Particularly the first, from 10 years old to 25. And then 25 to 50, I was doing better because I had a drug problem at 16.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Was that the disappointment, or was it like
No. The drugs were a byproduct. It was, the disappointment was, the school thing. School was disappointing. No uncles, no dad.
Right.
I didn't know direction, just boredom. Right. That's why what you do with these the races at least keep somebody occupied for some moment of time that gives them a goal big enough and a challenge.
Sure.
I didn't have any challenges.
So you didn't have anybody like setting some goals up in front of you saying?
No. When my dad died, I kept waiting for one of the uncles to step up, and they didn't.
Got it.
And that pissed me off because I'm like, dude, somebody's got to step up and give me a little guidance here.
But you had older brothers and
My
sisters?
older brother died when I was 20.
Right.
So 10 years after my dad died,
Got it.
so there was no men,
Got it.
just a bunch of women.
And mom wasn't like setting big goals for you?
No, my mom grew up in bread lines. So,
Right.
you know, I'd go to my mom. I remember I did a deal when I was 30, bought my first piece of real estate. And, Mom, I bought this piece of real estate. It was $3 million or $1.9 million. And she's like, wow, that's great. But you know, I love you just the way you are.
Right.
And I hung up the phone. She said that to me 1,000 times. And I hung up the phone and said, yeah, but I don't love me the way I am. And then my counselor buddy, Dale, says, you need to love yourself the way you are. I said, ain't never gonna happen, dude.
Right.
I said, that's the big lie. I don't wanna love me the way I am. I wanna become the guy I should be. Yesterday, I had to make a phone call to a guy. Hey, bro, you're not getting the deal. Let me tell you what the deal is. It's a $115 million loan. Okay, and there's two groups doing the deal. They're gonna hate seeing this when they see it. One group is at 0.40, one group is 0.250. This is my friend right here. My friend's too much money, man. And this other guy over here got me more proceeds. He gave me more assurances. I had to tell my friend, sorry, bruh. Sorry, I got to go with my boy down here. Oh man, Grant, we've been friends. You like me, I like you. We've been to dinner, you know my family. Sorry, bro. Don't know what to tell you, dude. It would not be fair to my family, to my children, to my investments, to my money, to my hard work, to this deal, to my investors. It would not be fair. By the way, if there were no investors, it would not be fair to me to pay more money to do business with you because you're my friend. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you. This is where you guys all get confused. He's my friend. If he's my friend, then I should not have to pay for that relationship. By the way, if he's my friend, he will be my friend after I make this hard decision. Nobody ever taught me when I was going to school, 17 years of school, nobody ever said, hey, maybe you want to stack up some experiences. And then what happens is kids, rather than going to college, what they do today is they'll go travel for a year. Dude, what? You ought to flip it. Go get your work ethic in. Bank some money. Bank some money. I'm going to do this left-handed. Bank some money and then go on the trip of your life. Oh, left-handed. I'm so good. I'm so good at everything. You got to have confidence, man. So look. And the confidence comes from doing stuff. The confidence comes from doing business, not from traveling, right? Like I know people that traveled when they were young and then they go back into the workplace, into the business place, and they're like, dude, I don't have any confidence in business. You want to have confidence in business, confidence in money, confidence with your family, confidence that you can go places. And look, money might not make you happy. I know some of you believe that, but it gives you the security to go where you want, do what you want, and stay as long as you want, if you can get that money right. I just had a coaching call with some friends of mine. They come in every month, and they're working on their business. They're going to bust $1 million this month. When I met them, they were literally, the company was not making money. They're going to make $1 million. They asked me a question today that I want to talk about. They're like, dude, how are you? Everybody we talk to talks about being nice to their people, taking care of their people, doing this for their people. Why is it the answer you have is different? I said, what do you mean? Well, it seems like you're hard on people. I said, no, man, I'm not being hard on people. I'm just trying to take care of my environment. I'm not trying, I don't practice being a DIK. I'm trying to take care of my environment. My decisions are about my environment, right? So little Grant's this little phone right here. This is little Grant. He got issues. He needs to clean up his issues. Grant's got to get hard on Grant. Okay, you guys out there, y'all so soft on your people, it's because you're soft on yourself. Right? That's why you end up with no money. You end up with people betraying you. You end up with people taking advantage of you. Even your kids don't appreciate you. Dude, you got to be hard on yourself. I'm hard on everybody around me, but mostly I'm hard on me. If you're young, whatever that means, I would quit telling people your age. Look, I would not lead with I'm 12 or I'm 18. I'm only 22. Don't open with that. Nobody cares about your age. The only thing anybody cares about is their own age. Like, I've never thought, how old is Rob Moore? Never, ever, even like never considered it, like, because I don't care how old you are. I care how old I am, you know? And that's a fact of life that people, you know, Alexander the Great was 16 years old. He took over Persia. He didn't send a notice. Hey, by the way, I'm only 16. You know, like, not something. It's not good to lead with that. What you want to lead with is your ability to get attention and hook somebody. Okay, when my kids last night we were at dinner here, and these guys that I'm at dinner with, they've met everybody. You name them. If they're an American president, they met them. And this one guy looks at my daughter Sabrina and says, "Man, she is freaking amazing. She's 10." He's like, "I've met them all." He's like, "As an amazing human being." But it's because she knows how to communicate, right? How to get attention and hold it, how to keep it.
Where does this 10X thing come from?
10X came from 2008 when the economy got crushed. I was in a completely different financial situation. And
where were you?
I was in Los Angeles. I lived in Lionel Richie's house. And dude, I had it made. Like, I was living the life. You know, Dre was my neighbor. Leo DiCaprio was next door. I'm dropping names now. I'm bragging. And throw it here, Johnny. And so when 2008 happened, I had 3 companies. The first 2 got crushed, and the third one was just frozen. It was a real estate company. I couldn't do anything, and my hands were tied. I I went from being free to trapped. And I said, I got to figure out what I did wrong. And rather than spending time blaming the mortgage, the mortgage crisis, and the banks gave bad loans to people, and trying to figure out, was it the Clintons or the Bushes that did this to me, or whatever the political agenda was, I said, hey, what did I do wrong? This has always got me out of trouble. What did I do wrong? Not what did you do to me? What did I do? How did I do this to me? So I don't repeat it again. Every morning for 10 years, I said, today's the last day. I'm never going to use again. 15 minutes
10
later.
years.
10 years, 9 years and 9 years and like 6 months.
So what was the deciding factor that actually made you quit?
I finally went, I had to go someplace. I had to change my environment. So I went to a treatment center in Minneapolis during the wintertime, late February. I was 25 years old and spent 28 days there in an environment where nobody had drugs. I didn't have access to drugs. And people were starting to talk about, okay, how'd you get here? They ended up putting me on drugs in the treatment center. And I'm like, I don't want the drugs, dude. And they're like, oh, no, you need it to detox, to get off. I'm like, this was 30 years ago. They've really ramped that program up now. It's the legal drug dealer now, is the treatment center. But the environment gave me at least, I was able to look around and see the damage drugs were causing these other people, men and women of all ages. And then that really solidified, okay, I'm stopping. But I needed one day not to use drugs, because I had been using drugs every day for 9.5 years.
Wow.
And so I needed the first day. Once I got the first day, I'm like, shit, I can put together 2 days. Then my head started clearing up a little bit. 28 days later, I go home to Lake Charles, Louisiana, and that's when the rebuilding really took place. And I had to replace all that drug time, which was a bunch of hours every day. This is what made me the beast, like the savage that I am today. I sat down and started writing, and I'm like, if I was 10x bigger, and if I was 10 times bigger right now, I would have $500 million worth of debt. $551 million. But I only have $51 million worth of debt. That's what I had in 2008. If I had, because the bank called me and said, we need the whole 51 million, or we're going to seize your property. I'm like, dude, nobody's got 50 million right now. The world's coming to an end. Had I owed $500 million, they wouldn't have treated me like that. They'd have called me and said, how can we help you, Mr. Cardone? Want to be sure everything's all right. So I went and told my wife, I said, I'm going to write a book called The 10X Rule. And she's like, what's the 10X rule? The 10X rule basically is, I'm going to have $500 million worth of debt the next time, and the bank will be my friend. When COVID happened, I owed $1.4 billion to the banks. That was 12 years ago. That's 30 times what I owed, 30X. the day COVID happened, the economy shut down, the world started going crazy, dude. The government started saying mortgage moratorium, eviction moratoriums. Like, I had 6 banks call me in one day. Mr. Cardone, we'd like to come to your office, see how we can help you work through this. Get big, baby. Okay? It's the 10X rule, man. The 10X rule says go big or
go home.
No, go bigger.
Go bigger.
Never go home, man. There ain't nothing at home.
Go bigger.
The way I lead is I go do stuff.
First I do.
And when I talk about doing stuff, I'm talking about I move the bar. The only thing I look at every day is, did I move the graph up? I'm just I love that the symbol of Hercules. I think it was Hercules holding the world.
Yep.
And I imagine if it was a live character, he'd be pushing it up more all the time. That's what when I see a graph, I look at, we graph everything. Right. I look at grass and I'm like, I want to go be Hercules. I want to lift it. And that's all my people see me doing every day. Sure. I'm not an organizer. I'm not a planner. I'm not the meeting guy. I'm Hercules.
Constantly moving that bar.
Moving the bar. I'm the one making the points.
Right.
And so I'm like, look, Steve, I'm going to make 40 points today. Put 20 on the board, dog. I don't need you to do, because you can't, Steve. You can't make 40. Okay.
Right.
So me and Ryan, I'm like, Ryan, I'm gonna raise $2 million today. I bet you can't even do half of what I do. And what happens is, they see my energy is toward activities that get results, not ideas or concepts.
There is value in having a partner in your relationships that is not stuck in mechanics, because the mechanics stop people from the dream.
Yeah.
At the new year, I want to do this, I want to do that, the resolution stuff. The big mistake that I make in my goal setting is the moment I set a goal, I want to move to how to do it. And when I move to the how to, it stops me.
Really?
Yeah, immediately, because I don't have the money to do it. I don't have the time to do it. I don't live there. I'm too old. I'm too young. I don't have the connections. I don't know how to write a movie, make a movie, get a TV, whatever, right? I want a Netflix deal, okay? I don't know anybody at Netflix. Right. So you move into the mechanics, and the moment you move into the mechanics, you shatter the dream.
What do you think it'll take for you to get over insecurity moving forward?
I'm not trying to, man.
You're not trying to?
I'm not trying to.
I thought you said if you could get rid of it, you'd be able to do bigger deals.
It'd be unbelievable, but it's not a target I have.
Letting go of insecurity.
No, I think it's just a human condition. I think it's part of the game. I think it's part of being a human being, any more than I want to get rid of my arms, right. Or my legs, or my arms and my legs, and my body. My body is a limitation.
Yeah.
So.
How do you manage it better then? Like, for people that are saying, I want a 10X, but I always have insecurity and fear that I'm going to fail, or people are going to show up, and the deal's I'm going to go broke. How do you personally tell the conversation to yourself, to the insecurity and fear?
Yeah, it's not stop, it's come. For me, fear, the things I'm scared of, I'm like, come on. It's calling me. It says, hey, come play over here. It's an indicator. It's a good indicator, not a bad indicator.
Lean into it.
Lean into it. Come play with me, okay? So I either have fear because it's really dangerous and stupid, or
like physically dangerous.
Yeah, like I'm gonna get to the edge of this thing. I'm gonna get on the other side of that thing. I'm probably gonna be scared.
Yeah.
Now, why am I gonna be scared though? Like, because I don't know what it feels like to fall, this many floors and hit.
Yeah.
Maybe it does. Maybe there's no big deal about it. Maybe dying's not even a big deal.
Right.
But I don't have the I don't consciously have the experience. So, I used to be like, I can't buy a $78,000 house. I was terrified the first house I bought. I don't know what I'm doing.
Because you didn't have the experience.
I don't have the experience, man.
Yeah.
This is the problem. And you're not going to have the experience if you don't move through the fear. And a lot of people do it once and then they don't do it again. You got to it's not going away.
Yeah.
It's just you're going to get used to the ski boots. The first time you put them on, man, they're freaking banging your shins.
Hurt.
Like, I can't, man. But you just wear into them. People will listen to 3 or 4 or 5 influencers, 4 of which don't make any money. Like they're more interested in likes and comments than they are a bank account. I'm not interested in the influence. Like I've never considered myself an influencer. I've considered myself a businessman. So I want to make money. I want my companies to make money. I want the department to make money. I want the division to make money. To the degree that the company, the division, the household is profitable, the country's profitable, it means we're doing good things. And so when John comes and listens to me, and then listens to another guy says, oh, you need to save your money. And I'm like, you need to use every penny you have to grow your brand. If you got to go into debt to grow your brand, do that. If you got to borrow money to get connections, do that. And this other guy's saying, don't borrow money. Well, the guy's going to do nothing. Little Dave's going to he won't do anything because there's a conflict in his mind. Grant said do it. Dave said don't.
Yeah.
I won't do anything.
So what, the problem of maybe too much information, access too much?
Too much information that's conflicting, so he would be better off. So I got to make it clear, Dave's wrong to my public. Dave's wrong, but maybe Dave's right for you. But Dave's wrong for me because I want to expand. Dave's right for you because you want to stay small. Oh, by the way, staying small never works.
In the business, we've got great cash flow reserves.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And do we take it out?
What for? Have you? How much of those?
For risk. For
what risk? How long have you been in business?
6 years.
6 years, dude. In 6 years, just look back over the last 6 years. Because I did the same thing. I had all this money sitting there for the thing that was going to happen. Okay, if you believe in the law of attraction, you're planning for the thing, and it will happen. Like you're planning for it, it's going to happen, right?
Oh man, we're pushing hard on growth too.
We're good, but at some point you can only spend so much. You're like, okay, I can't spend any more here.
Oh, we could spend more.
You could?
Yeah.
Well, then there's your answer. Spend it, dude. Don't sit on it. You have no reason to have a reserve. Why don't we spend those reserves? Because you're a little bit of doubt. Little bit of doubt is going to pay off. See, you start believing in the money more than the. Right? You start believing in the money more than the possibility.
I hate risk, man.
Huh?
I hate risk.
I hate risk too. That's why I buy the kind of real estate I buy. Like every day, the first sheet of paper I get every day is how much cash I have. The reason I'm looking at that is not bragging rights. It's because I want to get rid of it. It's like trash. I want to get rid of this money. I want to get that money to buy something that has babies. Right, so every day I'm looking, I got to get rid of this cash. I had this much cash, I want to push it. Money's being devalued worldwide right now. I don't push my kids, I'm pushing me. So if my kids can learn from me pushing me, because I don't want anybody pushing me. You're never going to push me as hard as I'll push me. I had a manager when I was 29, 28 years old. He set a quota for me, and I started laughing at him. And he's like, what are you laughing about? I'm like, dude, how can you set my quota? How can you set a quota for me, dude? You don't even know your potential, much less mine. Because I'm the one that knew what I could be doing. I'm sitting there quietly as a salesperson thinking, I could come in 2 hours early. I got nothing to do. I was single. I was lonely. I had nothing to do. I could have gotten to work 2 hours early. I could have stayed 4 hours later. How can somebody that doesn't know what's going on for me set my potential? The only asset class that will protect you during hyperinflation, there's a couple of them, but there's only one that cash flows. Gold, certainly. Silver, yes. Other asset classes that appreciate in value will get accelerated. Real estate, however, for the last couple thousand years, without exaggeration, has been the number one by a long shot asset class that will protect you and your family against inflation. This is something you guys really need to worry about. The politicians are talking about inflation being a problem for the upper class. Look, inflation infects like a virus everyone, okay? Inflation, Warren Buffett said inflation was like the invisible tax. If you don't like taxes, you're going to hate inflation. We have not had inflation in this country in probably since the 80s. Since the 80s, like, so that's over half of my lifetime, we have not had hyperinflation, particularly hyperinflation, where you're starting to get escalated rates of food, water prices, gasoline prices, fuel prices, diesel prices. Look at home prices. Just in Miami, I'm in Miami this morning, going to this event. Beautiful Miami. These prices, in the first 10 months of 2021, these prices went up 19%. That is hyperinflation. That means your mortgage payment will go up almost 20%. That means your down payment will go up if it's a $1 million house or $400,000 house. Let's say it's a $400,000 house, and you had to put $40,000 down just January of last year. That down payment now is $50,000. So you got to get ready for this. Now, how do you protect yourself? One, you got to be aware of what inflation is. Number two, you got to know if I have money that's going down in value as assets go up. It takes more money now. This bag of money will not basically, this was $100,000 in this bag. And because of the inflation in the last 12 months, this is now, I just basically took this much out of it. You understand? That's how inflation works. The bag was full. And now the bag is less full, okay, because of inflation. It's invisible, but it works in reverse, meaning I just simply need more of a bag. I probably need this bag and another 20% of this bag to buy the same products and services because of the printing of currency and because of inflation. It's not very complicated. And you don't need to figure it out. You just need to know, number one, it's here. Number two, I'm going to do something about it. You need to do something about it. And the thing that you can do about it is not a new thing, by the way, folks. This is not a Bitcoin. This is not BitClout. This is not NFTs, Ethereums. This is nothing. This is not the metaverse. This is nothing to learn. Like, this is simply, I'm going to find an asset that cash flows. A real property that cash flows where I protect my capital. The number one thing is you got to make a decision before you even take a step. What is it you want with wealth? Is it to just get by, simply pay the bills? You want to become a millionaire, a decamillionaire, a hectamillionaire, a billionaire? Which one you want to do? I've done every one of those. And I started with one thing, the dream. What was the dream for me? In the very beginning, it was simply, man, I just want to pay my bills. And that was a mistake because I was thinking too small. So however high you set your goals and your targets is going to determine where you get. So most importantly, just set a number. Is it $1 million, 10 million, 100 million, $1 billion? Bigger is not better. I remember a guy named Phil told me this. He went bankrupt, and then he says, I just want to remind you, man, bigger is not better. I had the bowling alley. I had the big house. I had the die. And then he's like, bigger is not better, man. And I believed it. I bought it. And so I stayed small. And later I realized that today I know bigger is definitely better. Okay. And you just got to keep getting bigger. The problem with bigger is you can't get out of the game. And you keep getting bigger and bigger, right? You want to keep getting bigger and bigger, and it keeps bringing on. You can't get out of the game because then you have obligations to other people. Now there's a lot of employees, but bigger is more fun. And it comes with more problems, but it comes with more fun too. I'm greedy about my own self-improvement.
Yeah.
I'm greedy, and I am very highly interested in my personal self-improvement because I know that's where it all starts. I have to make me the most important thing in my life because other people can't get better if I don't. I would love to improve my communication skills. Clubhouse is like the amount of eloquence, the amount of people there that are able to see other people's viewpoints has been fascinating to me. So number one, I'd like to become a better communicator. Number two, and I think I already am just from being on Clubhouse. Like, Clubhouse has been an incredible gift to me.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun to be in those rooms with you.
Yeah, and so I've learned a lot about how to talk, how to listen, that I didn't know because of the two-way communication. You don't get that from Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, I don't get it from dropping a video on YouTube. Number two is the collaboration. I want to collaborate with more people. Number three, third thing I want to do, I need to work on my relationships, my personal relationships. Could be a better husband, definitely a better husband. I've been running really fast. I will never give the bank money until I invest in my business. I'm never going to save money at Wells Fargo. Cash is trash, folks. How many were taught you were brought up cash is king? It's garbage. It's pieces of paper. If you saw the stock, if you saw the dollar as a stock in the last 55 years, it's going down like this. The graph is straight down, almost a 90% depreciation value. You would never invest in that stock. But what do you guys do? Work your ass off, trade time for money, take the money and save it so it gets depreciated. What does the bank do as soon as you give it to them? They call me up. Hey, Mr. Cardone, can we lend you some of these people's money? They're hardworking people.
They were working their asses off on the weekends, trading time for money, and they came and gave us the money. It's amazing these people do this over and over again. I'm like, please send it over. Once you and your business are doing well, by the way, you'll know. It's not even a question. If you're calling me up like, when should I start investing, Grant? If you're still asking that question, you don't have enough money. It will be so obvious to you. Your business is on banging, it's banging, 12 cylinders just banging, man. Listings coming in, sales being made, people talking about you. Your freaking numbers are going like this. Everything's like straight up and vertical. Then you should invest in something where you cannot lose your money.
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag Believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video because you are awesome. For 10 more amazing rules from Ryan Serhant, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
We all looked at that risk and we looked at how scary that is, and we said, you know what? That's what I want to do. I want to do that because it freaks me out and I've got that adrenaline in my system. Learn from them, take the best, leave the rest, then